Welcome back to the program. Good to have your company across Australia. Well, Pauline Hanson's controversial push to acknowledge anti-white racism with her motion "It's OK to be white" has been squashed in the Senate, despite originally gaining support from the coalition and several crossbench colleagues. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson joins us now. Pauline, good morning to you.
Good morning, Karl.
Nice to see your smiling face this morning. Plenty of journalists were drawing parallels between your words and white supremacist and neo-Nazi movements in the US. Just setting the record straight this morning. Are you a white supremacist?
Definitely not. I think it's so funny. It is absolutely ridiculous to actually connect me with that, and that's what they want to do. All this PC brigade out there want to connect me with that. What a load of hogwash. Rubbish.
What do you think of those who voted for your motion and then shockingly took it back?
They're absolute fools. They really are. The way the Liberal Party and National Party have acted over this is just ridiculous. They should have let it go. They should not have said anything about it, and there wouldn't have been a problem with it. By their reaction to this, and they were spooked by the Labor Party, as I said, and the PCs and the Greens, and you should have seen Dean Natali. He was frothing at the mouth. The spittle was coming out. He was so much hatred. And the stupid fool Darren Hinch, when he got up and said, he only gets up and says anything or wants to be anywhere beside me just for the headlines, just to get the publicity. It's absolutely ridiculous what has gone on in this Parliament.
The government said it was, quote, regrettable, which is surely the understatement of the year, blamed an administrative error. I mean, that's just woeful. Let's not sugarcoat this. The only thing worse than the vote was the excuse. It was seriously pathetic.
It was pathetic, absolutely pathetic. You know, let's take it word for word what they are. What I said is that the deplorable anti-rise of racism, racism towards the whites, white society, plus also about protecting the Western civilisation, and it's okay to be white. If I'd got up and said on the floor of Parliament, it's okay to be black, wouldn't have been one word about it from absolutely no one. And as I've said all along, I believe everyone should be treated equally, and I will go back to 23 years ago I was saying that, and I still say it to this day. But we have people out there pushing this feeling pity, sorry for what the whites have done to people in this nation. I think it's disgusting, and I think that we are all Australians together, and I'm fed up with it, and so is the majority of Australians.
I guess the problem is that you saying that and you debating it is more divisive than inclusive.
I don't believe so, because if we don't say anything, they are suppressing us and our views and our thoughts. It's like climate change. You say anything about climate change or anti what they're wanting to push for their agenda, well, then you're held down, you're criticised. The political correctness in this country is absolutely ridiculous. People have a right to have an opinion and have a say. That's what our society, our democracy and our Western civilisation gives us. But if we don't speak up against this, they will actually suppress us, and I won't let it happen.
Who is they?
Well, that's the Greens, that's the people on the far left, those people with their own agenda, and I'm fed up with it. That's why conservatism is actually dying in our politics. That's why the Liberal Party have carried on the way they have.
OK, the problem is, as Peter Costello pointed out last week, is the coalition is so caught up in social issues, they've lost their economic narrative more than well, I reckon more than that, they've lost their way completely.
Well, they are. They're terrified. They're trying to keep up the Greens and Labor.
They're terrified of you.
Oh, well, good. I hope they are, and they should be, because I'm trying to represent the conservative values, the people out there that feel forgotten, and they have been forgotten because they're trying to pick up those few votes. As I said all along, they think that they have the hardcore Liberals and they've got the hardcore National Party, and there are still the swinging voters, a lot more swinging voters these days. So they're trying to appeal to the minority groups to grab their votes, and they're losing their conservatism.
OK, the PM looks likely to take up New Zealand's offer of accepting 150 refugees from Nauru. Do you have a problem with that?
I do have a problem with it, because it's going to send a clear message to the people smugglers that people come out to this country. Look, you're going to end up in another country anyway, New Zealand, which is just as good as what Australia is. I'm frightened of the message it's going to send. I understand people's concern about these children being kept on Nauru, and
you've got to get the kids off Nauru, though. I mean, that's...
I do. Look, I am terribly concerned about that. But what will happen is, in the documents I'm reading, I'll follow it up today because I just heard about this late last night, that the minister can actually sign off and allow these people back into the country. I will follow that up and see if that is the case. If Labor gets hold of the reins at the next election, which looks like they may do, then they'll just sign these people back into Australia. It's going to send a clear message to those people smugglers in Nauru and everyone else, and Indonesia, you've got 14,000 waiting to come out here to Australia. You know, get on the boats, come here. If you get sent to New Zealand, you can still come here, unless we put a stop to all New Zealanders coming into the country.
Do you want to do that?
How would that go? I don't think people like that one.
No, Dickie wouldn't like it, that's for sure.
No.
Finally, looks like Karen Phillips might pick up Wentworth, according to the latest polls. These are Liberal figures, by the way, and may be just intended to have been released to motivate the Liberals in that area, the coalition supporters in that area. But it does make life interesting in Parliament if Karen Phillips wins.
Look, it is going to be not good for the government whatsoever. And is Karen Phelps totally 100% for renewable energy? You know, is she for bringing in refugees, opening up the floodgates? That's something that people of Wentworth need to ask her those questions before they actually vote for her. It will be bedlam for the government if she actually wins the seat and she's got these views. Is she actually just riding on the coattails of saying she will support the Liberal Party in the interim with supply? That's all it is, supply, not policy, supply. So therefore it's going to be problems. So I think the people should know, you know, who she really is, what she really stands for, and voting, because it's very close for the government.
Are you going to meet the royal couple while they're here?
No, I'm not, actually. They're out at Dubbo. I'm here in Canberra doing my work, doing my duties, representing the people of Australia. I think they're wonderful. I've got no problem with it. I think they bring a lot of attention and a lot of tourism to the country in the UK. I think they're a great role model for a lot of the young ones.
Good on you, Pauline. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
OK, Georgie.
That